listen, I want to start with congratulations on the sequel.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. Talk a little bit about how it works with you and Rian in terms of, okay, so when does he start telling you about his ideas for the sequel? Can you sort of talk about like that sort of conversation? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he basically, as soon as he's kind of like, he's got his notebook and I send him to go write. And him writing is really him thinking and then start scribbling on his notebook. And once he has kind of like core idea, we get together and he starts pitching it and kind of go through the key bits. And he did the same thing on this movie. And clearly the main thing, I don't know, going through the bits was like, is the whole construction and the conceit of the movie, which was clearly different completely than anything I imagine, anything we've seen before in the genre. And I was like, holy shit, can you pull it off? I got very excited about the idea. I just like, okay, is it durable? Can you actually pull it off? And we start talking about it and we say, how cool would it be if he can actually pull it off? And, he basically then goes, start doing more work, and really most of his work is like 80% outlining. And he spends most of the time outlining and figuring it out rather than actually writing it. And once he has it, he goes to write with just that's the quick stage. And then he gave me the script, and like reading I don't know if you ever read any Rian scripts, even like after you've seen the movies, they are very dense. They read because you realize how many details there is there, and like you read it, there's so much stuff going on. And he pulled it off. He absolutely pulled it off, and it was like reading like such a fun ride. And then the next thing was, okay, other than keep working on it and make sure it's better, hoping that people do find it, because when I read it, I already knew what the conceit is.
Sure.
So that's it. You start testing it and see how people respond, and you go from there.
In the editing room, have any of the films really changed dramatically, or has it just been minor stuff?
I would say the movie that took the most work in the editing room, probably Looper. But I would say both Knives Out and Glass Onion. I don't want to say the movie is what we filmed, but pretty early on you had a cut, and then which was really like a very solid cut, and the rest is just fine-tuning, right? Sure. Trimming and changing and performance and doing things. But the movie, but again, the 5 or the extra 10% or the last 5, 10, 15% is really what takes the movie to the next level. And we spend a lot of time in the cutting room. We don't like really live by a certain schedule. You have this kind of schedule, and then you have to like, I'm like, taking your time. Every week we'll get it 1% better. It's worth it.
With a movie like this, which is, there's a lot of spoilers. You don't want the reveals to get out. How does it work in terms of like test screening it and showing it to people for honest feedback without making, preventing 100%. The spoilers from getting out?
So first of all, when we do friends and family screenings, those are friends and family screening, and luckily none of those people share anything. And when we go outside, when we recruit people, we don't really say what movie they're going to go see. So they don't know they're going to see Glass Onion. And even when they see the movie, there's no title on the movie.
Sure.
But we do ask people really kindly, when they get actually to the test screening, please don't share. And I got to say, people have been really nice about it.
Did you guys learn anything from the test screening process that impacted the finished film?
100%. Always.
Can you talk about any specifics?
No, but it's more like you sit in the screen. It's more than anything, you sit and you feel the audience. And it's not even about notes you get, because it's really not about the notes. It's like sitting with an audience and see how they react, how they respond, where they laugh, where they don't laugh, where it feels suddenly long. And to me, that's the best thing you get from the screening. You literally, everybody, we're all sitting there and you can feel, this moment didn't really work. Or this moment worked. Like, I didn't think it's going to work. So, some of the best stuff, like in different movies, like we didn't think it's going to work. And when you go to the test screening, you say, holy shit, people love that one. You didn't think they would.
Did you know when you were reading it how funny it was?
Oh, yeah. I knew how funny, but you never know how funny it's going to be until they actually go do it on the set. But even then, you don't know, because when Rian goes and cuts it with Bob, it plays completely different than how you read it.
Sure.
So that's the beautiful thing. You literally rewriting the script completely in the cutting room. And many times, I've read the script 100 times. I talked to Rian 100 times. When I watch it in the first time, it's not how I imagine it. It's how he imagined, but it's not how I imagine it.
I already got to wrap. Just real fast, though. Do you think Knives Out 3 will be the next thing you guys do?
Yeah.
100%?
100%. I mean, there's never 100%, but the intention is let Rian go take a break and go do it. We've all been energized by how people have responded to this movie. And again, we're having a blast making them. But I would suspect, unless something changes, that's going to be the next thing.